Revealed, billionaire hides wealth on blind date, but discovers life-changing love with amazing woman. Ryan, a 35-year-old tech mogul, had everything: a sprawling mansion, fast cars, and more money than he could ever spend. Yet, beneath that glossy facade lay a heart weighed down by the solitude of his fortune, $1 million prison. His mother, a well-meaning woman, urged him to connect with everyday life. "Just be yourself, Ryan," she insisted as she set him up on a blind date. Ignoring the glitz, he craved the simple joys of existence. So, he opted for a charming little diner, a world away from his elite circles, where he could mask his identity and just be a guy seeking love. When he stepped inside, the aroma of burgers and fries surrounded him like an old friend. The diner buzzed with laughter, heartfelt conversations, and the clink of dishes. Ryan felt oddly at home, even if he was a world away from his usual haunts. Then, he met Emily. A bright-eyed single mother with a cheerful smile that lit up the room. As she took his order, they shared small talk over a greasy plate of fries, and the world slipped away. Their laughter intertwined with the melodies of classic rock playing softly in the background, an unexpected soundtrack to this budding connection. They found common ground in the struggle of life, each battling their own demons, both yearning for a brighter tomorrow. In every shared story, sparks flew between them. Ryan listened, heart racing, as Emily expressed her dreams of a better job, a safe home for her son, and the respect of a community that often judged her. Her struggles resonated deeply within him, highlighting his own invisible battles with the chains of wealth. The tension simmered beneath their banter. Ryan's secret weighed heavily as he felt admiration grow for the woman across from him, but as their conversation shifted to moments of levity, he felt a sense of dread sneaking in. Would he ever reveal who he truly was? Suddenly, the moment turned serious when Emily spoke passionately about the daily grind, her eyes reflecting every hardship she faced. Ryan leaned forward, completely captivated by her resilience. Here was a woman who embodied the spirit of her community, hardworking, fierce, and full of hope. Before he could catch his breath, a friend walked in, recognizing him instantly. "Hey, Ryan. What are you doing here? Don't you have a meeting at your tech empire?" The room fell silent. Emily's expression shifted from delight to confusion as whispers began to swirl. The simplicity of their connection began to crumble under the weight of his wealth. The buzz of the diner dimmed, and judgment seeped into the air. Those who had once admired Ryan now exchanged incredulous looks, while Emily's insecurities flared, heart pounding. Ryan took in the scene, the voices, the glances, the disbelief shimmering on Emily's face. He had desperately wanted to escape into authenticity, but he was hit with reality. The world was watching, judging, and the chasm between his life of privilege and her struggles felt unbridgeable. Would Emily see past the billionaire facade that had defined him for so long? Would she still love him if she knew the truth? As the tense atmosphere enveloped them, Ryan stood at the crossroads of his heart. A pivotal choice lay before him. Would he present himself as he really was, or remain trapped behind the mask? The diner's familiar bell chimed, signaling another day of decisions to be made. Would love be enough to break the barriers between their worlds? As Ryan's heart raced, he felt the weight of hope flutter within him, yearning for a chance at something real. Emily stood frozen, the weight of realization clamping down hard on her. The man she had been laughing with, the one who made her feel lighter, was not just any guy. He was Ryan, the Ryan who dominated headlines and graced magazine covers. Her breath caught in her throat as she tried to process it all. Uncertainty clouded her thoughts, distorting the warmth of their earlier connection. "Ryan?" she finally managed, voice trembling. Ryan's heart sank. He could see the gears turning in Emily's mind, the flash of betrayal mixed with confusion. "I didn't want to tell you," he admitted, his voice low. "I just wanted to be real with you, even if it was just for a moment." The sincerity in his tone was palpable, and he stepped slightly closer, the tension heavy between them. "Real?" Emily echoed, the word hanging thick in the air. "How could any of this be real if you were hiding who you are? It feels unfair." Her eyes blazed with hurt, but there was a flicker of something else too, curiosity, maybe? Around them, the murmurs grew louder as others in the diner took interest, eyes darting back and forth. Ryan's palms were sweaty against the tabletop, his mind racing. I was just trying to escape my life, to connect with someone who wasn't influenced by my wealth. When I met you, you made me feel free. But freedom comes from truth, doesn't it? Emily challenged, her voice rising slightly. Despite the chaos around them, she held her ground, an anchor of fierce resolve. I thought we had something special. You were just a guy with a sweet smile and a lot of grit. But this changes everything. Ryan swallowed hard. He could feel the judgment of the diner crowd closing in, their gazes increasingly hostile, like bees sensing a threat. But a part of him wanted to rise above it. Does it have to? He asked, hope creeping back in. I know what I said is important, but that doesn't change how I feel about you. Please, give me a chance to explain. Emily's body language was conflicted. She shifted, her arms crossed defensively, gaze flicking to the door like an escape route. You think women like me care about your money? I wanted honesty. I care about you. Without the bullshit. He nearly shouted. A few heads turned, eyebrows raised, but the urgency in his voice drew Emily's attention back to him. Please, listen. The room sparked with electricity as silence fell. Only the jukebox played on, a stark contrast to the tension weaving its way between them. Ryan took a breath and continued, I've spent so long feeling trapped in a world where everyone wants something from me. But with you? You saw me. Just me. For the first time in years, I felt alive. I see you for who you are, a fighter, a dreamer. The fierce light in Emily's eyes flickered, the tension slowly ebbing. Ryan recognized the glimmer, perhaps a chance. What if I promised to show you who I really am? Not just me as a billionaire, but the real Ryan behind the business suits and stock options? As her gaze softened, he saw walls begin to crack, and he pressed on, we can start over. Let me take you away from here. Away from pressure and prying eyes. It can just be us. I'll reveal everything, the good and the bad. Emily searched his eyes, weighing hope against fear. For a heartbeat, everything faded. The diner, the chaos, the people, only they remained in focus. But then, the spell broke. The whispers ramped up again, and she pulled back. I don't think I can do this, Ryan. Not like this. Just when he thought everything was lost, he whispered, what if I told you that love could break all barriers? Would you take the risk? Her hesitation was palpable. The weight of his question lingered, curling around them like smoke from a fading light. Would she dare to believe in this love? Time hung in the air, a delicate balance on the edge of discovery. Could this be the moment where everything changed? As the bell chimed once more, signaling another customer's arrival, Ryan felt time slipping away, his heart racing, hoping that she would choose to fight for what they could be. Would she take that leap into uncertainty, or would she walk away, leaving him in the shadows of his own making? Emily looked at Ryan, her heart pounding louder than the jingle of the diner's bell. His words danced in her mind, swirling between the possibility of love and the fear of what it might cost her. The crowd around them slowed to a dull murmur, distant figures lost in the tangles of their own lives, leaving only her and Ryan in that charged moment. Love can break barriers, she whispered almost to herself, then shook her head, trying to clear the fog of emotions clouding her judgment. The glimmer of hope resting in Ryan's eyes tugged at her heartstrings. It was tempting to lean into that spark, to believe that maybe, just maybe, a connection born from honesty and vulnerability could exist between them, but doubt clawed at her. A relationship with someone like Ryan, a man whom the world adored and envied in equal measure, felt like an exercise in futility. Would he ever truly choose her, a woman from nowhere, over the gilded life waiting for him back home? And what would that actually look like? She asked aloud, a question that hung heavy in the air. I can show you, Ryan replied, urgency in his voice. Just give me a chance. I promise to take you to a place where none of that matters. Just us, our story. Emily felt her walls trembling as she contemplated his offer. But how do I know it's real? Her voice quivered, revealing the vulnerability beneath her tough exterior. How do I know this isn't just some fantasy? Because I'd rather risk everything for a chance at something real than hide behind a facade, Ryan said, conviction enunciating every word. What I felt with you was unlike anything I've had in years, and I can't just let it slip away. The weight of his sincerity pressed against her chest. Emily felt the urge to reach for him, battling with the truth of her resolve. It's not just about you wanting this, Ryan. It's about me too. I need to know I can trust you. He nodded slowly, his gaze unwavering, caring yet intense. Then let us build that trust together. Start fresh with me. We can go anywhere. I could show you the places I never take anyone else. The real me. What if it's all falling apart when the truth comes out again? She challenged, her heart aching at the prospect of giving in, only to face more hurt. It scared her absolutely. Then I'll take the fall, Ryan asserted. With you, I'm willing. Just know I'm ready to reveal everything and accept whatever comes next. I feel like I'm finally living, without the mask. The promise lingered in the air like a warm breeze. Her heart beat faster. Emily's resolve wavered temptingly. What was she afraid of? Risking her heart? Or risking the only connection that had felt real in far too long? Let me think about it, she said, taking a cautious step back. It felt safer, less vulnerable, yet something inside twisted at the admission. Ryan nodded, a soft smile breaking through his tense features, a flicker of hope battling against the uncertainty. I'll be here, waiting. She turned to leave, her heart heavy but electrified. As she stepped out of the diner into the crisp evening air, images of what lay ahead blended with the shadows in her mind. Would she turn her back on the unknown, or step bravely into the uncertainty he offered? Just then, a car roared past, headlights sweeping across the sidewalk, illuminating the establishment that had held their fragile moment. Confusion held her in place as her thoughts spiraled. Life had handed her an unexpected challenge, and now she stood at a crossroads, unsure of whether to reverse course or take the plunge. As she wrestled with her thoughts, a figure slipped out from the shadows, a woman she recognized from the diner, curiosity written across her face. Hey, are you okay? Emily's heart jerked at the unexpected inquiry. Could the unexpected support truly come just when she needed it? And just like that, she felt a new vulnerability creeping in, realizing she might not have the answers she thought she did. Would one conversation with Ryan be enough to change everything, or was her journey just beginning? Emily stood on the edge of uncertainty, the weight of the stranger's question wrapping around her like a warm blanket. I'm figuring things out, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The woman took a step closer, her face softening with concern. I saw you with Ryan. There's a spark there, isn't there? You two have something special. Emily chuckled lightly, though the sound felt foreign. Did they? It seemed impossible to think that someone like Ryan could find anything special in her. Yet, as much as she tried to shove that notion aside, his words lingered like a haunting melody. Special or not, I just don't know, she admitted, her voice trembling as honesty took hold. What if I step into his world and end up lost? What if it all comes crumbling down? The woman tilted her head, genuine empathy pouring from her kind eyes. Sometimes risking it all is the only way to find out what truly matters. Are you okay with playing it safe or pursuing the chance of something real? Emily swallowed hard, feeling the stirrings of a battle within her heart. The words echoed, amplifying the swell of conflicting emotions. Could she really embrace the unknown? A part of her wanted to run back into her life of simplicity, where she'd never have to risk heartache. But what if that life meant never knowing the bliss of love? Believe me, the woman continued, I've been there. Once I took the leap, I discovered a love that changed everything. It's worth the risk. You deserve that chance too. The sincerity in her voice cut through the chaos in Emily's mind. As she stood there, an ache filled her chest, an ache of longing, of dreams unfulfilled. But what if I'm just a temporary distraction for him? I don't want to be another fleeting moment in his life. I get that fear, the woman replied, her tone softer yet firm. He's a man with a lot of eyes on him, sure. But if what he feels for you is genuine, it'll change the game. You won't know unless you take that leap. Emily felt the tears sting her eyes. The weight of uncertainty mixed with the extra burden of self-doubt made it hard to breathe. Was she capable of opening her heart to the kind of love Ryan offered? Would she be able to rise above the doubts that consumed her? As those thoughts churned, another car sped by, the sound pulling Emily from her spiral. She glanced back toward the diner, where Ryan awaited her. She felt a pang of regret, wanting to scream at the universe for making everything so complicated. Take your time, the woman said gently. Just remember that love isn't always easy, but it can be beautiful if you give it a chance. Everyone deserves a shot at happiness, even you. The words pierced through the fog. Could she really allow herself to feel something so profound? It felt risky, but that risk could lead to a love she could have only dreamed of. Thank you, Emily replied, feeling lighter. It was like she'd been given permission to explore the possibilities she had both feared and yearned for. With a deep breath, she turned back towards the diner, determined to find a way to confront her fears, to take that leap. As she approached Ryan, she saw a hint of impatience etched across his brow, but also a flicker of hope. What if this was the moment that changed everything? Emily! He called, waving her over, his smile wide and inviting. The moment hung in the air. She knew it was time to make a choice. As she stepped forward, her heart racing, a swirl of emotions enveloped her. She was at the edge of a new beginning, but would she find the courage to jump? The door swung shut behind her as she hesitated, caught between fear and desire. Could love truly fill the void of doubt? Or was she merely setting herself up for heartbreak? Emily stepped into the diner, the smell of fresh coffee and bacon filling her senses. The warmth of the place wrapped around her like a comforting hug. As she moved past the bustling tables, her heart raced with the weight of her decision. The anticipation of what lay ahead was almost overwhelming. Ryan looked up as she approached, his expression shifting from impatience to relief. Hey, there you are, he said, eyes sparkling with a hint of mischief. I was about to order a search party. She chuckled, the sound breaking past her nervousness. Sorry, just needed a moment. Everything okay? He asked, his brow furrowing slightly with concern. It was such an innocent question, yet it sent her spiraling into thoughts of vulnerability and trust. Could she really open up to him? Yeah, just thinking, she replied, glancing away as the waitress approached their table. 2 coffees. Ryan ordered with a casual smile, a relaxed identity that made him magnetic. Emily admired the way he seemed at home in his own skin. Was he really as perfect as he appeared? As the waitress walked away, Emily took a deep breath. I guess I was just thinking about us. Ryan leaned in, his full attention on her, and her breath caught. What about us? It feels like we have this spark, like you noticed. But I don't know if it's real or just a moment. Her heart drummed loudly in her chest, uncertainty visible on her features. I think it's real, he said, his gaze unwavering. I've never connected with anyone like this before. His words sent shivers down her spine. Could it really be that easy? But what happens when the excitement fades? What if I'm just a distraction? Ryan shook his head, a soft smile playing on his lips. You're not. I mean it, Emily. There's something here worth exploring, don't you feel it? She wanted to believe him. The energy between them buzzed like electricity, filling the space with warmth and possibility. Yet doubt still lingered, nagging at her like an unwelcome guest. "Can we not rush it?" she asked, her voice small. "I've been hurt before, and I'm scared." He reached over, his fingers brushing against hers, igniting sparks she dared not ignore. "We don't have to rush," he said softly. "But I'm not going anywhere. Just take your time." Just then, the waitress returned, placing their steaming mugs in front of them. The brief pause allowed Emily to gather her thoughts, to weigh the gravity of Ryan's promise. "Thanks," Ryan said to the waitress, his attention still fixated on Emily. "I know we don't know where this will lead, but maybe we can figure it out together." Emily's heart fluttered at the thought. Together the word danced between them, a whisper of hope. A moment passed, filled with unspoken possibilities, the kind of moments that could change everything. She stared into Ryan's eyes, and for the first time, she felt a flicker of certainty. "Okay," she said, her voice steady. "I'm willing to try, to see where this goes." Ryan's smile expanded, lighting up the room. "That's all I needed to hear. Just know, whatever happens, you can trust me." As Emily began to feel the warmth of his sincerity envelop her heart, a strange sense of calm settled in. Maybe this was the start of something beautiful. Before she could respond, however, their playful moment was interrupted by a loud commotion at the entrance. The diner's door swung open, and a figure stepped in, a man dressed sharply in a tailored suit, his presence immediately commanding attention. Emily's heart sank. The man looked familiar, too familiar. Wasn't he the same one she had seen with Ryan before? The tension in the diner shifted, and she felt a chill run through her. What did it all mean? As whispers rippled through the room, she instinctively glanced at Ryan. His expression changed as he registered the newcomer, a shadow dancing across his features. "What's happening, Ryan?" she asked, anxiety creeping in. "Just, give me a moment," he muttered, eyes holding a mixture of surprise and caution. The air thickened with uncertainty and tension as she waited, curiosity battling with worry. Who was the man? What did he want? And as Ryan leaned back in his chair, turning to face Emily, she felt her heart race anew. Had they just taken their first step toward love, or was the moment already unraveling? "Emily," Ryan said slowly, "there's something you need to know." Ryan's voice was steady, but Emily could sense the weight behind his words. The man in the suit took a few steps further inside the diner, surveying the crowd with a mix of confidence and urgency. All at once, she felt the electric buzz they'd been sharing dim as dread crept in, snuffing out the warmth of their moment. "Ryan, who is he?" she asked, her heart racing uncomfortably against her ribs. "You look tense." His gaze flickered back to the man, then returned to Emily, filled with a mix of resolve and something else she couldn't quite place. "He's a business associate, a partner I didn't expect to see here." "Is he here for you?" she asked, a lump forming in her throat. Ryan sighed, the tension woven into his features deepening. "Not exactly. But let me handle this." Emily nodded, though unease gnawed at her. She had opened herself up to Ryan, let down her defenses, even if just a little. And now, everything felt uncertain. The man approached their table, sharp eyes focusing on Ryan. "There you are. We need to talk," he said, voice smooth but punctuated with an urgency that made the air around them feel electric. "I'll be right with you," Ryan replied, but the tension in his voice was unmistakable. Emily glanced between them, each second feeling like a tightrope walk. The diner's hum became a distant murmur. She tried to read the situation in Ryan's eyes, but all she found was a wall rising up between them. "Is this urgent?" the man pressed, frustration creeping through his calm facade. "Yeah, just give me a moment," Ryan said, his voice firm yet measured. He turned back to Emily, his expression softening. "I'm sorry. Can we put a pin in our conversation?" "Of course," Emily said, forcing a smile. But her heart sank. She wanted to scream for him to stay. To choose her, their moment over whatever was happening back there. As the two men stepped away, she couldn't help but feel like an outsider looking in on a private conversation. Even as the warmth of the diner washed over her, a chill settled in her bones. What if this was the dividing line? Could they go back to that beautiful connection? Her mind raced with doubt, reminding her of her past, reminding her that things rarely end well. Ryan was with her just moments ago, promising not to rush. But now, she felt adrift, caught in currents she had no control over as the chatter around her faded into a low hum of confusion. Casting a glance towards the two men, she caught a snippet of their conversation. Ryan's eyes, intense and guarded, his hands clenched. A dark foreboding echoed in her chest as the avaricious part of her mind wondered what Ryan stood to lose. Suddenly the man laughed. It seemed out of place among the diner's normal chatter. Emily's heart sank further as a sense of foreboding wrapped around her. Something about this situation felt wrong. When Ryan returned to her, the tension in his posture caught her breath. There was a new heaviness in his eyes. "Emily," he said, pulling in a deep breath, "I can explain everything." Yet as he stood there, the distance between them felt unbearable. The warmth that had ignited moments ago seemed like a distant memory, threatened by the weight of secrets and unanswered questions. "What is going on?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. What did he want? Ryan hesitated, struggling to find the words. At that moment, Emily realized she was standing at a crossroads. "Emily," he finally said, "this is harder than I thought it would be." And with those words, the air grew heavy with implications. Emily sensed that this moment could shatter everything they had built in this brief span of time, or it could lead to something deeper. But could she trust him enough to take that leap? The world around her faded, and all she could hear was the frantic beat of her heart. "Just tell me," she urged, eyes searching his for clarity, "what do you need to say?" The corners of his mouth tightened, as if he were grappling with a weight far beyond his years. "There's something in my past, something I should have told you." The hairs on her neck stood upright, the atmosphere crackling with tension again. What could possibly lie in his past that would change everything? "Ryan, please." He stepped closer, his face serious, and in that moment, she felt as if the world had drawn to a standstill around them. And then he whispered, "I'm not who you think I am." Emily's breath caught at the words. They hung in the air between them, heavy and charged. She searched Ryan's eyes, trying to decipher the enigma swirling there. "What do you mean?" She pressed, her heart racing, the pulse in her throat thundering louder than the muted chatter of the diner. "I didn't just come here for a casual night out," he said, gaze unwavering. "This is complicated." "Complicated how?" She pressed, needing to understand. His expression tightened again, the weight of whatever secret he carried pressing down on him like a physical burden. "I've built a life around decisions I made. There are people who will go to great lengths to protect what I've created." The gravity of his words knocked the breath from her. It knocked the wind from everywhere, her thoughts, her feelings, even the tiny shred of hope that flickered between them. "Are you saying you're in trouble?" Not right now, but I've been." He moved a hair closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I've done things to keep my past away from my present. I wanted a normal life. I thought I could have it with you." Pain lanced through her heart. They had been building something beautiful, and now could it all be a facade? "So, you lied to me? About everything?" "No, not everything," he hurried to refute. "I was honest about my feelings. I do care about you, Emily. But the truth is, it's been a struggle for me. I needed to find a way out from the past I created." The diner buzzed around them, oblivious to the storm brewing at their table. Every laugh, every clink of cutlery felt like a reminder of the normal life he wished to leave behind. The warmth they had shared dimmed further as anger soared inside her. "And what was I, just a distraction? A way to cope?" "No," he interjected, reaching across the table, his hand nearly brushing hers, but pausing just shy of contact. "You're not a distraction. You're so much more, and that's what terrifies me. What if I can't keep you safe?" Her heart ached at the honesty, but confusion gripped her. Could she believe him? Could she trust him with the deepening connection they had crafted? Emotions tore at her, each one demanding her attention, leading her down different paths. Emily took a moment, searching the faces around her, the laughter, the warmth. Should she fight for the connection they had, or pull away before she got hurt? "What do you want from me, Ryan? To keep pretending?" "I want you to see who I really am," he said, his voice ragged with urgency. "But you need to understand the risks. If we're going to move forward, they will come after us." Fear crept into her mind, crawling resolutely alongside the past she had tried to escape. But another, braver part of her rose up and urged her to take a chance. She set her jaw and took a deep breath, determined. "If you want me to understand, then you need to tell me everything." His eyes widened, realization dawning as if her request lit a path through the chaos. "Okay, but there are no buts, Ryan," she interrupted. "It has to be the truth, all of it." He hesitated, tension throbbing between them like an unanswered question. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mixture of fear and exhilaration. They were standing on the precipice of the unknown, and only one thing was certain. "What are you really hiding?" she asked, leaning forward, her voice a whisper now. As Ryan's mouth opened slightly, she noticed a flicker of desperation in his eyes, as if he weighed a truth powerful enough to change everything. And before he could speak, the bell above the door jingled, pulling her attention just for a moment. She turned just in time to see the suited man stride back into the diner, his eyes scanning until they settled on Ryan. No longer just a spectator, but a player in this unfolding drama. Emily's heart raced anew. What could this mean for Ryan and for her? "Emily," Ryan said, snapping her back into the moment, but the fear mixed with determination surged anew. And then the man approached their table again, his smile predatory. "I told you, we need to talk." Emily's heart sank as the distance between them grew. Once more, shattering the fragile connection they'd just begun to forge. What did this mean for the truth? For their future? As Ryan took a deep breath, she felt the tide turn again. Was she brave enough to fight for him? To fight for what they could become? "Be ready," he whispered, his eyes brimming with unspoken emotion. Emily could only nod, feeling that the moment of truth was about to arrive. The man's presence loomed over their table, his shadow casting a dark pall over what should have been a vulnerable moment between Emily and Ryan. She felt as if the chatter around them faded into an angry hum, their laughter suddenly distant. Ryan, the suited man, leaned closer, too close for comfort, his voice smooth but edged with steel. "I didn't come here to play games. You know what's at stake." Emily's stomach twisted. This was no casual conversation. "Who are you?" she dared to ask, her voice steadier than she felt. The man turned his piercing gaze toward her, a fleeting smirk flickering across his lips. "You're the new girlfriend, aren't you?" "Must be thrilling to get drawn into Ryan's world," he said, punctuating the air with a sarcasm that stung. "But you should know there are consequences to being involved with someone like him." "Cut the drama," Ryan snapped, his frustration palpable. "This doesn't involve her. Leave, now." "No can do, Ryan." The man leaned back, arms crossed, his eyes never leaving Emily. "You made a choice. And choices come with suddenly." The atmosphere shifted. Emily glanced at Ryan, catching the tightening of his jaw, the flicker of emotions battling beneath the surface. It was a raw vulnerability, unlike anything she had seen before. "Just tell me what you want," Ryan demanded, his voice low but fiery. "I want what's owed," the man replied, a glint of triumph in his eye. "And to make sure you understand that being with you isn't just a distraction. It's an expensive mistake." Ryan, Emily said softly, sensing the tension radiating from him. What is going on? Ryan's eyes softened, but the tension didn't dissipate. Things I've done people who want their pound of flesh. His voice barely held together. Like you're in a mob or something? She asked incredulously. The diner felt like it was swirling around her, reality tumbling like dominoes. Something like that, he confessed, a note of pain threading through his tone. It's complicated, but the life I've built is fragile. Just being here with you puts everything at risk. Her heart plummeted. And you should have told me. I know, he said, his forehead furrowed. But I wanted to protect you. I thought I could put it all behind me. I didn't realize it would come back this way. I don't need protecting, Ryan, she insisted, anger mixing with a surge of affection. But you need to be honest with me. The truth, all of it. The suited man interrupted with a sharp laugh. Yeah, good luck with that. A man's past doesn't just disappear. Wouldn't you be better off walking away while you can? Emily's heart raced at his words. That relentless pull was still there, drawing her to Ryan despite the chaos. This moment was their make or break. What's your plan, Ryan? She pressed, desperation igniting her voice. You think all this will just go away? That's the thing, he murmured, his gaze shifting from the man to her. I want to fight for us, for this. It's not just cop-out feelings, I truly care for you. Then show me, she challenged, her heart pounding with mixed emotions. We can't build anything on secrets. Not now. Not ever. Are you sure? He whispered. Do you really want to dive into this? She swallowed hard, her answer lying on the edges of everything they had shared. I want to understand you, Ryan, and help you fight whatever it is you're facing. The suited man's expression darkened, frustration cracking through his composed mask. Pushing against me only makes it worse. There are some lines you can't cross. Let them come, Ryan declared, standing. The weight of every decision hung in the air as he faced the man head-on. I won't run away anymore. Not from my past and not from the future I want with Emily. In the ensuing silence, all eyes in the diner turned to the three of them, the tension thick enough to sever. Emily felt her heart racing as Ryan's fierce determination crashed against the man's icy disbelief. Then you really are a fool, the suited man said, his smile fading. We'll see if that sentiment holds when they arrive. Emily's breath quickened, the finality of his words ringing in her ears. They were about to be thrust into a world she never wanted but now found herself wrapped up in. What happens now? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper, hands clammy on her lap, Ryan's eyes locked with hers, a mixture of fear and resolve swirling deep within. We brace ourselves for what's coming and face it together. As the diner buzzed around them, she wondered if love truly could conquer everything. Or perhaps it would be the catalyst for their undoing. And just as she thought the moment had reached a breaking point, an unfamiliar figure stormed through the door, their eyes set sharply on Ryan. Silence enveloped the room. Emily's breath caught in her throat again, the weight of uncertainty heavy on her chest. What had they really gotten themselves into? What now? She whispered, her heart hammering against her ribs as the realization hit this was only the beginning. Emily's mind raced as she tried to process the figure now striding towards their table. The diner's ambience crumbled into a thick fog, swirling around her like a storm. The newcomer's tall stature and intense gaze bore into Ryan, and the tension between them felt electrifying. Ryan, the figure spoke, his voice sharp, cutting through the air. We need to talk. Now. The suited man smirked, stepping back slightly. Ah, look who has come to play the hero, he taunted, his eyes glinting with amusement. Maybe this time, he'll actually tell you what you're getting into, sweetheart. Ryan clenched his fists, his jaw set. Don't make this worse than it already is, he shot back, turning to the newcomer. What do you want, Alex. Alex's eyes flickered over Emily, assessing her like she was a piece on a chessboard. "I thought I warned you to stay away from her," he said, voice low and menacing. "You're tangled in something you can't handle. And she's in the line of fire now." "What are you talking about?" Emily interjected, anger sparking within her. "I deserve to know what's happening." Ryan placed a hand on her arm, a calming gesture that did little to ease the tension. "No, Emily, you don't, not if it's going to put you in danger," he continued, his eyes darting back to Alex, who merely laughed, the sound cold and dismissive. "It's already too late for that, isn't it, Ryan? You made your choice. Keeping her in the dark won't save her." Emily felt the walls close in around her, dread pooling in her stomach. "What do you mean?" she pressed. "I can handle it. I'm not some naive girl." "Naive or not, you have no idea what our world is like," Alex replied, stepping closer. "You think love can beat all this? You're asking for a storm you're not ready for." "Enough!" Ryan shouted, the words erupting like a flare in the dim diner. "This isn't about you, Alex. I'm protecting Emily by lying to her." Alex countered, spitting the words with venom. "You're only cooking up more problems. She's just a distraction. You'll only drag her down with you." Tears threatened to spill from Emily's eyes. A sudden wave of isolation washed over her. Did Ryan truly believe she was just a passing fancy? She fought to keep her voice steady. "I'm not a distraction. I want to be here. With you." Ryan turned back to her, his eyes trembling with desperation. "You don't understand what you're signing up for, Em. The stakes are high. Beyond your imagination. That's just it," she exclaimed, her heart racing. "I want to understand. Ignorance doesn't mean safety. It just means I'll be left in the dark." "Do as you wish," Alex said, holding a hand up. "But remember this moment. When everything hits the fan, don't say I didn't warn you." And with that, he turned away, striding out the door, leaving behind a chilling silence that swallowed the diner whole. Emily looked at Ryan, heart pounding in her chest. What happens if he's right? What if I'm already too deep? "Then we'll deal with it together," he replied softly, taking her hands in his. "I want you with me, through every storm." For a split second, Emily felt a flicker of hope, a moment where love could conquer the darkness swirling around them. But the familiar shadow of doubt crept back in, sitting heavy and ominous in the pit of her stomach. Suddenly, the door swung open again, this time letting in an angry gust of wind, swirling with voices. More figures entered, their faces obscured but their intentions clear. Ryan's grip on her hand tightened, and a sense of panic ignited in her chest. "We have to go," he murmured, urgency dripping from his tone. "Where?" she asked, heart racing. "Anywhere but here," he said, glancing back toward the entrance as the newcomers advanced, their presence stifling. As they rose from their seats, Emily fought against the fear clawing at her throat. Would they really escape whatever was coming? And just when she thought they were free, she caught a glimpse of a familiar face among the crowd, someone she didn't expect to see, and someone who could change everything. "Emily," the voice rang out, pulling her back into uncertainty. Was she truly prepared to discover the truth, no matter how painful it might be? Ryan held firmly onto Emily's hand, dragging her through the diner's door and into the frigid night. Her breath formed small clouds in the air as she glanced back, searching for familiar faces, a fleeting sense of familiarity. The chaos of the diner seemed like a ghost now, another life she wasn't sure she could go back to. "We can't stay here," Ryan said, urgency coloring every syllable. He glanced behind them, scanning the quiet street as if danger lurked in the shadows, ready to pounce. But Emily's heart was pounding, not just from fear. This was also about the undeniable connection that had ignited between them, the blazing hope against the backdrop of the storm that was rapidly approaching. "Where are we going?" she asked, feeling both exhilarated and terrified. Ryan shot her a quick smile, eyes gleaming with sincerity. To a place where we can talk, just the two of us. You deserve the full truth, and I need to be completely honest with you if we're going to make this work. She hesitated but remembered their shared moments, the enchanting laughter, and the warmth of each confession. Okay, she murmured, allowing him to pull her away. As they hurried down the street, the chill of the air couldn't cool the warmth of her heart, which pulsed with a mixture of exhilaration and anxiety. As they turned past a corner, Ryan led her toward a small park illuminated by the gentle glow of street lamps. The park was an unexpected oasis amid the chaos of the city, quiet and serene, just what they needed. Ryan paused, breathing heavily, his eyes locked onto hers. Emily, he began, anchoring her with his gaze, I've been running for far too long. The consequences of my past are closing in, and I don't want you to be a casualty. Tell me everything, she insisted, feeling the weight of their shared decisions hanging in the air. With a deep breath, Ryan exploded into the truth. I was part of a business with ties that I never fully understood. It started to evolve into something darker. People I trusted turned out to be ruthless. I've distanced myself, thinking I could just leave it all behind. His voice shook. But it doesn't work that way. Emily's heart raced. So, you're saying they might come after you? After us? Yes, he said, panic flashing in his eyes. I thought dodging it would solve everything, but I've put you at risk by not being honest. It's why I didn't want to tell you. I hoped it wouldn't follow me here. Tears brimmed in her eyes. And you think love would just fix all of this? Not fix, he pleaded. I thought love could shield you, but that was foolish. I realize I need you by my side to face this, but I will not let you get hurt. Her chest tightened as she fought against the whirlwind of fear, longing, and emerging resolve. But I want this, Ryan. I want to be with you. But we need to be open now more than ever, no more secrets. Ryan's expression softened, a mixture of relief and gratitude washing over him. Okay, I promise. But knowing the truth means we face everything together. I'll fight for you. Just as she opened her mouth to reply, the shadow from earlier emerged at the edge of the park. Emily's heart plummeted again. Ryan. She gasped, instinctively stepping closer to him. Ryan whirled around, eyes narrowed with fury. What do you want? He shouted at the figure, and for the first time, Emily recognized the face. Alex, a haunting reminder of the trouble they were in. I came to warn you, Alex said, confidence pouring from every word. You think you can just run from this? They know you're with her, there's no escaping. The menace in Alex's words hung thick in the air, but Emily felt a flicker of defiance. She stepped in front of Ryan, their hands intertwined, voices resolute. You think you can intimidate us? We'll stand and face whatever comes our way together. Ryan's grip tightened around her hand, and in that moment, they shared an understanding deeper than fear, a shared determination to face this path head-on. Are you ready? He whispered, his eyes shining with courage. She nodded, heart steadying. Let them come. I won't back down. At that moment, something shifted in Ryan's demeanor. He squared his shoulders, letting go of the weight pressing against him. Then together, we'll carve a new path, one on our terms. As they stood united against the storm brewing ahead, Emily felt the warmth of hope envelop them. Love wasn't just the spark they shared, it was the promise they made to one another, a commitment to face the future, to navigate the chaos of their entangled lives, and deep down, she knew whatever faced them next, they would rise together, fortified by courage, honesty, and an unyielding bond. In the seconds that followed, it became clear, love could indeed break barriers, and Emily was ready to embrace every part of that journey. They turned to face Alex, unwavering. We're in this together. And we won't be easily broken. Their words rang like a declaration, a vow against the uncertainty lurking in the shadows. Whatever trials were to come, they would face it with strength, love, and fire in their hearts. This was only the beginning. You need to subscribe now to join us on this incredible journey and not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep the love alive. Comment your reactions and feelings about this now fierce bond built on trust, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation of love and strength.